Oh, there it is again, the comment, but we're live. Welcome back, you guys, to our daily live feed. I'm going to go into Facebook again while I'm waiting for you guys to get logged on and get rid of that comment. My goodness. I thought I got rid of it last time and it apparently didn't work. So, welcome back. Hello, as you're logging on, as always, if you'd like to come work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. We do hair, makeup, suits and posing, all the fun stuff when it comes to competing. I'm currently coming over and trying to figure out how to get rid of the comment that is pinned right now. So let me get rid of it. There, it should be gone now, hopefully. Let's see. What's up, guys? What's up? Welcome. Okay, good. It's going to go away eventually here. Oh my goodness. It's like I set up this default setting over on Facebook to put up the athlete search link, which is over. And now I can't figure out how to turn it off. I thought I had it turned off, and it's not turned off. I'm gonna have to go in there and figure it out. Welcome. We have a lot of things to do tonight. It is our first real BSPN of the year because we're going to wrap up the Japan Pro. So there's that. We have a suit to give away. So there's that. We have the Arnold to talk about. So there's that. Oh, crap. That's not what I wanted either. Go away. This freaking comment is going to haunt me. I got to get it off somehow. I really did. I went in and tried to take it off of settings, and it didn't allow me to take them off. So anyway, we are live on Instagram, we are live on YouTube, and we are live on Facebook as well. So depending on what platform you are watching from, if you're on YouTube, you will see all of the comments coming in. If you are on Facebook, you'll see the Facebook comments. And I think actually you might see the YouTube comments too. Let me see. Nope, you don't see the YouTube comments, just the Facebook ones. And then, so YouTube is really the best place to be because you'll also be able to see the screen sharing when I do that, because I'm going to do that as well. So, oh, thank you. These nails glow in the dark, actually. I did not know that. So I do my own nails. I do polygel. So I didn't know that they glow in the dark until I went to bed the first night. And I'm like, oh my God, I turned off the lights. And I was like, oh, my nails glow. Holy crap. So yeah, it was a surprise. So we're getting back into the swing of things, you guys. There was a pro show this past weekend, and that was in Japan. And it went kind of how I thought it was going to. Not exactly. I was a little surprised by a little of the results. So we are going to do that. The first thing we're going to talk about is important things with the Arnold. Okay. So yeah, the surprise of the glow dark, exactly as was. I was so shocked. I was like, "Why? What is going on?" I closed my eyes. I just saw the haze from it. I didn't realize where it was coming from, and I opened my eyes. I was like, "Oh my God, my nails are glowing." It's like, anyway. So the first thing to note is our QR code up there. That one right there is different. We are now on Spotify, so this will actually take you to our anchor page, which you can go there, and when you get there, you can go to Spotify from there. But what this will do too is that as I get it on more platforms, those will all come up here so that you can actually get to those. When you go to this anchor page, as you can see, this will take you to our Facebook, our Instagram, our YouTube, our actual website itself, and then you'll see all of our episodes down here. So I did upload the Pro Card Path episode, which, because that's a video, you got not only audio, but you got video as well when you're listening on Spotify. So go in there and get on here and follow us on Spotify. And here's why. Okay. So I mentioned to you guys that I will be covering the Arnold. I do have a media pass and all that kind of fun stuff. But the thing is I'm not doing a live stream because they have a paid live stream and all of that. So we're not allowed to. Yeah, my husband didn't even notice. I had to show him. He's like, "Oh, that's pretty hot." Anyway, I can't take pictures and I can't take, professional video and stuff like that from the media pit. So what I'm going to be doing, this is important, is I'm going to actually be recording my commentary and then I'm going to upload it to Spotify. Okay. So here's what you're going to do as a listener at home, right? So what you're going to do as a listener at home is you're going to go buy the live stream so that you have it, right? And I'll be sitting right there up, as close as I can get in the media pit. And I will be basically doing the commentary as if I was doing commentary at a show. And I'll be doing that into my little recording app and all of that. And right after prejudging and right after finals and all that, I will upload that into Spotify. So then you can go listen to prejudging or whatever you want to listen to along with my notes. Make sense? So then that way you get to see the actual live stream, you know what I mean? The actual video version of it with some educational additions to it, right? So I thought that would be kind of cool. So it won't be exactly in real time, so I'll have to upload it and all that kind of stuff, but I'll do that while I'm there in Columbus. So I'll add in some, some video interviews, things like that, whatever I'm able to get as far as media is concerned. So this is where I need your input as well. So type into the comments here. Let me know who you'd like to hear from, or maybe some questions that you would like me to ask the various athletes that are there. I will be there all weekend. So that way I can actually get you the content that you're looking for. So, depending on who's there, I'll be there at the athlete meet and greet and all that kind of stuff. And depending on who I can grab, go ahead and just comment in and let me know what you want to hear, who you want to hear from, questions you want me to ask, all those kinds of things. And we'll put it up on Spotify. So I thought that would be a pretty cool way of doing this. Because then again, you're going to be able to listen to a little bit more in depth of what's going on with the women. Because, there's a lot of YouTubers out there that do cover the men's side of the sport. They cover the open men and things like that. They'll have their own live streams going on YouTube while they're home. But I'm actually going to be there in person. And I'm going to see it from like the best seats in the house that I can get, right? So that's going to be your educational moment, right? Welcome back. Right. These are clip-ins, by the way. These are not my tape-ins. I've decided to not do tape-ins because my actual hair has gotten very long and very healthy. So I am not putting tape-ins back in, but I did get some clip-ins. So they're just as good, but I can take them out and then they're not there when I want to go train and stuff like that. So this is me testing them today. I just put them in real quick. So if you haven't gone and subscribed to us on Spotify yet, do that because I will be updating all Arnold weekend. Okay. I'll be updating all Arnold weekend. I got the whole thing set up so I can upload immediately. And you guys can get that coverage as quickly as possible. Okay. So right there, Spotify, I'll put it in the description box too. So make sure that you follow us on there and listen and give us 5 stars across the board because you love us so much. But for real, this is our opportunity to, do more in-depth coverage for the female side of the sport, basically, right? This is an old top. This is an old top. I've had it for a while. It's not super old. I would say I got it this fall, so it's not super old. But yeah, my shoulders, I've been feeling really swole this week. I don't know exactly what happened, but I've been getting compliments all up and down about my musculature. So I don't know what's going on, but hey, I'm not complaining. So thank you. So yes, Spotify for the Arnold. I will remind you guys of that. I'll remind you guys of that as we go into that week. We will be talking about the Arnold again tomorrow because there's been some changes and things like that too. So I want to kind of go over that and see, talk about who's in and who's out, all of that. It's the Chambord. Yeah, exactly. It's the Chambord. That's exactly what it is. So we'll talk about that tomorrow night, where we'll go over some of the changes to the athletes in the various divisions. We are going to talk about Japan Pro tonight. But before we get into that, we have one more thing we have to do for the athlete search. So the last piece of the athlete search is we said that we were going to award a fully encrusted suit to whomever shared the athlete search the most. So it was actually really tight between a few different people. There was like 4 or 5 people that shared it a lot. But when it came down to it, and actually I probably could have picked this. Let me see something. I'm gonna see if I can do something real quick. Hold on, before I announce. What if I can do this? What if I can do this? Where's she at? Yeah, I can do this. So the young lady that actually shared this sale and search the most is getting herself a free, fully encrusted suit, and that is Yolanda. Woo! Yay. So if you guys didn't know already, I mean, she shared it almost every single day. She also obviously has a new podcast, The Real Raw Real, where she shared it there too. So she was definitely on top of the sharing of the athlete search 100%. Now, she also won herself a sponsorship. So that means she's now got 2 suits in the pipeline for this year. So I don't know if she's, yeah, right. I don't know if she's on live tonight, but I'm sure she'll go back and watch this, because if she's not on live, she does go back and watch the live streams. So she just got herself a second suit for the year. So we always want to have a backup suit. I tell you guys that all the time. You always want to have 2 suits. So now she's got 2 suits. And she's got 2 other ones from the last 2 years too. So, I mean, she's going to just start racking them up. She's going to have to get one in every color or something. Now, here's the other thing. I can kind of expand on that as well. So if you find a suit, you find a suit color that works for you, like with her, everybody loved her yellow suit, right? So if you found something that's your color, or you found your look, you can always do a duplicate, right? You can always do a duplicate of that suit. So that way you have a backup and it's exactly the same thing. Just in case, something happens, you spill tanner on it, she's got that yellow suit, you spill something on it. I mean, that's a problem, right? Something along that line, you've always got a backup ready to go. And then you've got the same look, and you've got the look that the judges love. So that's always something you can do too. So if you find your look, just get multiple suits in the exact same style and color and go with it. Right? So that's something she could do. But she did win for the most shares during the athlete search. So congratulations on that. Appreciate all of that and all of the hard work that everybody did, because a lot of you did share it a lot. So I really, again, appreciate that a lot. So with that takes care of our admin fun stuff for tonight. Let's talk about the Japan Pro. Okay, so we didn't do a preview on this one because we were doing the athlete search last week. So we got pretty busy. Yeah, have a duplicate. If you found your look, you guys, there is no reason why you need to change it. Just make sure that you have a secondary one in case something happens. I've told this story a half dozen times, where I had a girl whose dog ate the crotch of her bikini bottoms the week of her show. Stuff happens, and there's not a whole lot you can do if your dog decides to go ham on your suit bottoms, right? So if you have a second one, though, you're good. You're good to go. No problem. Yeah. Jennifer's also another one over here on Instagram. She is good to go on the backup suits. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's just 1,000 different things that could happen. So having a backup is always a good thing. Always a good thing, right? Of course. Well, and so here's the thing, Jennifer, you don't have a signature look yet. Once you have a signature look, there's no reason to change it, right? There's no reason to change it. So, yeah, my Dolly, my little miniature wiener, has eaten the crotch out of I don't know how many pairs of my leggings. It's ridiculous. My husband was like, I think you're letting her do it just so you can go get new clothes. I'm like, no, I swear to God, I'm not letting her eat my freaking leggings. But she has done that to so many of my leggings. It's ridiculous. She hasn't done it in a very long time. This was like a puppy behavior, but it was very bad for a while. I had to check every single pair of pants before I put them on. Anyway, that was a tangent. Yeah, Dolly, crotch eater. She was a crotch eater, man. Goodness gracious. I don't know. Anyway, on that note, let's talk about Japan. So, going into this show, I didn't preview it because, again, we were stuck in the athlete search, going through the athlete search announcements and all of that last week. So I didn't really have a chance to. That's one part of it. But also, it's really hard to preview a show when we've just come off of an off season, right? There's several months since we've seen any competitors on stage. The last time we saw competitors on stage was December at the Olympia, and the majority of the girls in this lineup were not there, right? So Natalia, who won it, is a previous Olympian. She didn't make it to the Olympia this year, but she is a previous Olympian. Sarah Choi is a previous Olympian. She was there this year. Eureka is a previous Olympian. She was there this year. Other than that, none of these other girls were on that stage. So, it's really hard to preview a show knowing all of these girls have had significant time off, right? A lot of them haven't been on stage since the summer. They look great in their previews on Instagram and things like that, but you don't know what they actually look like on stage. So my initial prediction, I did put it up in my Instagram stories. My initial prediction, I thought that Eureka would win it. I thought that Shanae would be in second. I thought Natalia would be in third, I think, and then Sarah in fourth. I think I just said third and fourth. Those two might have been flipped. But anyways, that was my top four. So a lot of this went kind of how I thought it was going to, but the big shock of the show, honestly, for me was Eureka out of the top five. I didn't see that happening. I assumed, honestly, I thought she was going to win it because coming off of the Olympia, she was in like the second call out, or I'm sorry, I think third call out, something like that. She was towards the top in the Olympia, right? And she did place. So I just assumed walking into the show, she would win it. But she didn't. She was even outside the top five. So I actually reached out because Jamie is my coach and Jamie is also her coach. So I reached out to Jamie and asked what her feedback was. Let me go ahead and pull up pictures. Now, the other thing too is we're not going to go too in depth in these photos because the lighting on these photos is really hard to see anything. So I don't want to get too nitty gritty on this because again, we can't see a whole lot. And that's one of the reasons why I reached out to Jamie because I couldn't see a whole lot in the pictures and videos. And I wasn't sure what I was looking at. So I asked for her feedback. And basically what the feedback was from the various judges was that Eureka needs to put more size on top in comparison to her bottom, that she looked a little bit flash, needed to be fuller, that kind of thing. And that, her glutes were fine, all that kind of stuff. But I think what really hurt her as far as out of the top five was she just needed to be fuller and that she has that imbalance from top to bottom. So while she looks great, her lower half does overpower her upper half. And that's actually something that's been a consistent feedback for her. So I think what basically happened is, she came off of the Olympia and then she wanted to push through to this show. And it's really hard to hold a shape for a couple of months, which is a good precursor to what I'm worried about when we see girls at the Arnold in a couple of weeks, right? It's really, really difficult to just stay like this for most people. For most people on the pro stage, it's really hard to just maintain and to coast. You got to go up, you got to go down, you got to give yourself a break, you got to allow your body to rest. It's really hard to stay right here in stage condition. So I think that's basically what happened here with Eureka. She is competing this coming weekend too. We will do a preview this coming weekend show too. So there is one in Singapore, I think is where it is. So make a couple of tweaks, fill out a little bit better, that kind of thing, and who knows what could happen this coming week. But that to me was the shock of the show. I just assumed that she would be winning it and she didn't. So, hopefully she can get up back in the top five, maybe pull out a win in Singapore, and then she'll be Olympia qualified for next year. I know that's the hope of a few of these girls, obviously, that have been pushing since the Olympia, right? So let's go back. And there is a billion freaking pictures of every one of these competitors on this show. Whenever you pull up the pictures from like these Asian shows, they all have, like, you could literally do a flip book and see their entire routine. So it's hard to go through and pick out all their best photos and things like that. You basically have to get to like the fifth page before you get a front pose. So in fifth was Karen. And I believe Karen was a brand new competitor, I think. I want to say this. Let me see. Actually, I can figure that out real quick. Yeah, she hasn't competed since 2019, it looks like. So, let's see. Machine gun finger. Yeah, it's definitely machine gun finger, 100%. But yeah, so this was 5th place. If you look at her just in comparison to what we saw with Eureka, Karen looks a little bit tighter to me, right? She looks just a little bit like she has a little bit better condition. I would say her shape is a little bit better balanced, just a touch. I when we turn them to the back, let me pull Karen's back shots up. Let's see what the difference in the back shots are. I have a feeling Eureka's probably a little bit better from the back. Let me see what we got. Sorry, it's going to take me a minute to find a good picture because of the machine gun finger. Yeah, so yeah, I would say that. So this is I think it was a tie between the two of them, and it came down to a tiebreaker for 5th and 6th. So I would say from the back that Eureka is actually better. And I know I didn't pull up a picture of Eureka from the back, but Eureka has more glutes from the back. However, Karen is in better condition and has more pop to her muscle. So I can understand why Karen would beat Eureka in this particular show just by a hair. It's like, again, it's splitting hairs at this point. Because overall, I think Karen has a better balance from top to bottom. But I think if you were to put her and Eureka next to each other, I think that they would have, I think Eureka probably has a better back shot, just wasn't quite tight enough, full enough, that kind of thing. So let me find a back shot of Eureka real quick since we're doing this. And we're comparing the two of them. Let me see. I can get one. Yeah, here we go. Oh, this was the other thing too. And I don't know if this affected her scoring or not, but Eureka's glutes were way overglazed. So they were way, way, way overglazed. See how shiny she is on top here? You know, that's unfortunate because as a competitor, it's kind of hard to know if that happens. You know what I mean? Like you got to just pay attention to your glutes before you step on stage. So that doesn't happen. But, you know, looking at this, Eureka obviously has a little bit more glute pop than Karen did. So again, I would say the glutes on Eureka are probably better, but she's not quite tight enough, doesn't have quite enough pop in comparison to Karen, right? So here's Karen. And even Karen has too much glaze on her too. I did see one of the girls' stories. They were talking about how they had to use the tanner on site and everything like that. So I'm assuming that's a thing that happened with the actual host tanner for this show. So, well, the unfortunate part about it is it blurs the lines. It blurs what your physique actually looks like when you do this. So I would say that again, Karen is better balanced. She has a wider back. So this balance, this X frame is nicer from the back. But again, when we look at Eureka's glutes are better. So it's like, which direction do you go? Right. So it makes sense. They're very, very close and very, very comparable. And it makes sense why the tiebreaker went the way that it did. Okay. Let's pull up our next set, which is Shanae. So I think Shanae is absolutely gorgeous. Oh, Yolanda, you want a suit. Yolanda's online now. You for sharing the most during the athlete search. So that's what you're thanking me for. So Shanae, I believe, is 5'11". She's a tall girl. Actually, I competed with her in Dallas this past year. Let's see. Got to get to a front shot. Probably just skipped it now. Nope, I got it. Okay, here's a front shot. So she carries a lot of muscle, a lot of muscle. But because she's 5'11", she has to, right? In order to be comparable to these girls that are half her size, she has to carry a lot of muscle. I saw a post something about her saying that she wasn't going to pump her shoulders up. She's competing again this coming weekend. So she's not going to pump her shoulders. So I'm guessing she got feedback that her shoulders were too big, which makes sense. I mean, when you look at her front pose here, the first thing that I see with this front pose is her shoulders. First thing that I see is her shoulder pop here, which that's not something you want to see. You want to see an overall flow and overall balance. So, if she downplays those shoulders a little bit, that's going to put her in better balance from top to bottom, right? Yeah, Yolanda, you got yourself another suit for the year. So here's her back shot. So my critique on the back shot is relax up through here. This could be just an in-between shot, but I don't think it is. I was just looking at that. I think this is kind of where she was for she's there for all of her back shot poses. So I would say just relax that top, that top across here. And to me, I think we're lacking a little bit in the pop here in the glutes. Like she looks similar to Eureka, right? She looks similar to Eureka in that she needs to just pop that glute a little bit. I feel like, again, because she's yanking up here on top, I think she could push back a little bit more on her lower back and push the glutes back a little bit. And then that way, this would probably fill out just a little bit more. But at the same time, it might end up making her hamstrings a little bit too tight. So I don't know. Again, this lighting is really hard to tell. So I'm saying a lot of this stuff with a caveat of I don't know. It could just be the lighting that I'm looking at that's the issue. But to me, this looks like she just needs to pop the upper glutes a little bit, which to me feels like she needs to push back a little bit more and just relax her upper body a little bit. But again, I could be wrong on that because I can't really tell with the lights. Now, I will say this because this is going to be a thing this year. We're going to see it a lot, and that is the pink suit, right? The pink suit. You guys know I actually really love pink. I love pink. I will be honest and say that I liked her better in her purple suit last year. Okay, so this is her in the pink. It's not bad on her by any stretch of the imagination, and I like the cut. I like the style, but I personally just liked her purple suit a little bit better. Let me see if we can pull a purple suit up picture. Actually, here's some from Dallas. Let me see. This lighting was a little off, so it made it actually look blue. But there we go. So it's actually purple. It looks blue in this light, but it's not. It's a purple suit, and I'm more prone to say I like that one better. I wonder if she's got a different show here that I could pull up with a better look on the color. Let me see. This one makes it look a little blue too. Yeah, anyway, I like that color better. I like that color better on her. So that's just my own personal opinion. Again, I think that the cut of the pink is pretty on her. I like that darker color a little bit better. Yeah, agreed. It has a lot more. I agree. It has a better contrast to her skin. Agreed. So again, I don't think the pink is bad. I just don't think it's as good as her other suit personally. So, okay. So let's go to third place, Anna. So speaking of suits, I have a really a love-hate relationship with this suit right now, this girl, and I'll tell you why. I've never seen this girl before. She doesn't have any contest history up. I'm trying to find a good. I think this is where she's up front. Let me see. I have a love-hate relationship with this right now. First of all, her posing needs some work. She looks very rigid. She looks like a figure competitor almost. It's too pulled out here. She needs to relax. I like this cut of her suit bottoms a lot. I like that cut a lot. This looks her cut. If this point was up here and this point was down here, it looks like her suit is almost on sideways. Does that make sense? This looks like she should have this part this should be this part right here should be going around her back. And then this part should be going around her top. That's what the look of that suit looks like to me. However, they may have done that on purpose. Maybe that's the way they're able to keep her chest in a little bit, because it looks like that's helping to push them in a little. So that could be it. I do not like this color at all. Guys, don't ever do an orangey pink thing like this. It's way too close to her skin tone. So this is why I have a love-hate relationship with this suit, because I think that the suit bottoms flatter her really, really well. I really like that cut. I like that V down. I like all of that. And this, it's a little different. Just flip it around. I think it'd be good. But the color, no on the color, right? It's just way too close to your skin tone. Needs to contrast. Okay. So with that, again, posing, she needs to, right. It blends completely. It almost looks like she's not wearing a suit. It almost looks like she's not wearing a suit. It would be so much better if she just had a little bit of contrast there, blue, purple, something like that. Right. And again, she's got a nice shape and frame. She just needs to rework this pose a little bit. It's just way too rigid and figure-like for me, right? Let's pull up find a back shot. Well, the thing is it's not her fault. It's the suit's fault, and it looks like to me she's a relatively new pro. I don't see any history of her here on NPC News Online. So I'm guessing she's only been competing for a little while. Let's see. And again, see the posing? And this is not just an in-between pose. This is her back pose. Now, she does get her fingers into a better place. Watch her fingers disappear. See her fingers right here? Oh, I hit the wrong thing. No, go away. You start to see her fingers and then they start to disappear. She gets into her pose. So by the time she's in her pose, she's fine, but she's still squatting into it too much. She's got a really good shape to her glutes, really good overall frame too. I mean, she's got this great X frame right here, but she needs to come up taller on those knees. She just looks like she's squatting, right? So this girl, her physique is better than what her posing and her suit is showing. Her hair is also too long. As you can see, it's hitting the back of her glutes, or the top of her glutes in the back there. So she needs to either cut her hair or curl it to make it a little bit shorter. So all of these little teeny tiny presentation details make a big difference in her overall look, right? Which again, if she's a relatively new pro, this is a great placement for her. She did very, very well. So if she makes a couple of teeny tiny little tweaks, puts on a new suit, fixes these poses, fixes her hair, she could win the next show, right? She's that close. I mean, she probably could have won this one if she had those tweaks in there, but just the way that she's presenting herself is not at the best. So hopefully she'll do that. Hopefully she got some feedback. I don't know if she's planning on doing the next show in Singapore. If I was her, I probably would. Jump into it and go ahead and do it because she's right there. But just these tiny little tweaks got to be fixed, right? And I'd like to see her win a show too, because it's very rare that you see somebody with that heavy of a tattoo on her leg and stuff do as well as she is. So I think that'd be kind of cool to be my 2 cents right there. But a couple posing tweaks, couple suit and hair tweaks. She's good to go. Good to go. Okay. What did I do? Okay, here we go. Now it comes down to our top two. So Sarah Choi is a past Olympian. This was actually a really good look for her. However, again, it's posing for her. So let me get to her front pose, which I'm not even on her front pose yet. I'm on page 6. There we go. I think this is the front pose right here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So again, she's just posing way too big up top. And again, this is not an in-between shot. This is her. This is her front pose, right? This just needs to relax. So I tell you guys all the time, if you were to take a straight line and a ruler and point from the delts all the way down, it should hit the outside of her glutes. Look at where her delt is in comparison to the outside of her glute. And that's just her pose. If she just let this arm relax down, everything would come in a little bit and she would be perfectly balanced. She would be perfectly balanced. So all she needs to do is just drop it down. That's it. That's all she needs to do right there. And actually, I think she looked probably the best when it came to her overall look. Her hair and makeup, her suit, all of that. This is the best look that I saw on stage that day. But this right here just makes her look a little off. Just a little off with her pose, with her balance, right? So that's it. That's it. That's the only thing that I see right there in that front pose that needs to be fixed. So let's go to her back shot, if I can get to one. Yeah, there we go. And here's her back shot. So from the back, she needs to be tighter. Okay. You can see that here. She just needs to drop another pound or two in her glute hamstring tie-in right there. Glutes look great. Nice and folded around, all of that. But she's just not quite tight enough in the back. You can see that in comparison to the other girls. Now, if we hadn't seen the other girls and how they looked, I may not say that here, but we can tell she's a little bit watery right through here. Right. And that could just be stress too, but I think it's body fat. I think it's just an extra pound or two of body fat. And then she's right on there. She's right where she needs to be. Right. I would also say dip this suit down just a touch in the back, just a little bit. The coverage is fine. Doesn't need to go less on the coverage. Just push down that V a little bit. I do that on my suits where you just take that and just press that V down. So it gives you a nice roundness right there. And that would help with that look right there. But really what it is just this right here. She just needs like a pound or so off the back, and then she'll be right there. A really good look from the back, nice and wide across the top and right through here, nice and tight through that lower back. So she just needs to bring the conditioning in just a touch. It should be right on that winner's circle. And so then we go to Natalia. So she has been an Olympian in the past. She's placed at the Olympia. So it's not a stretch that she would come in and win this show. Let's see if I can find a front pose of her. Again, got to go deep in these photos. Page 7 to get to a front pose. Okay, there we go. Okay, so immediately, balance is great, right? Top to bottom, balance is really, really good. She's nice and tight. She's full. She's round. You know, she's got that, like we talked about, that balance from her shoulder into her glute. Perfect balance right there. This suit, oh no, this. She's almost having a wardrobe malfunction right there. The suit looks like it is a size too small. Or she just didn't adjust herself properly inside of it or something like that. But that as soon as I pulled up her pictures, it gave me anxiety. I'm like, oh no. And I saw a few pictures off stage. I think that this suit has a little bit more pigment than it looks like it does in this lighting. Again, I'm having a hard time with critiquing colors and things like that because the lighting in these pictures, the way that it's hitting them. But I would probably go with a little bit more pigment, a little bit more of a jewel tone here. Just depends on what the suit actually looks like in normal lighting, because I'm not really sure. It looks a little bit light to me, but I could be wrong on that, just depending on the light, right? Just depending on the light. But the biggest thing is this right here. Make sure that your suit keeps your tatas in, keeps them up and high and tight, right? Because she's a super cute girl. Like I said, perfect balance from top to bottom. So I mean, she's deservedly won this show, right? Let's see what her back shot looks like. Got to get to a back shot. Here we go. And even on the back shot, see, here's one. She's one that could benefit from a little bit more coverage in the back. She's nice and tight, got some pop to her. I'd like to see a little bit more shoulder pop on the outside here, but not bad. I mean, she's got a pretty good taper. So if I was going into an off-season improvement season now, since she is qualified now for the Olympia, I'd work on adding some more delt out here on the top. Bottoms look fine. I mean, as far as her look on her bottom looks fine, but this suit bottom is too small. I'm guessing this is probably one of those teeny tiny little cuts again. What she could do is just pull it down a little bit, maybe pull it down a little bit more so that it covers a little bit more. But when it's this small up in here, it actually makes you look a little shallow, a little harder than you are. So again, if she just took this and brought it down like a half an inch, pulled it down into the butt crack a little further, that might be helpful. Because overall, like, she obviously has the best glutes in the show. She's in the best shape, all of that. So she definitely should win this show. I just want to see a couple little tweaks, specifically on the suit. I feel like maybe the suit was maybe a size too small, and maybe she just needs to get a little bit of a bigger suit. That would be my 2 cents. That would just flatter her frame a little bit better. But again, she won the show, so it couldn't have been that bad. You know what I mean? But, you know, hair hits right where it should. I would say maybe trim the hair just a touch so that we can see a little bit of that lower back. That would make her look, you know, like she's got a teeny tiny little lower back in the back, because she does. She has a small waistline from here, but we can't see it because her hair is covering it. So I would say maybe trim the hair up a little bit, and then just maybe a little bit of a bigger suit bottom, bigger suit top, just to cover the goods, you know. She's a cute girl. She has a really cute look and a great shape. So just display it right. Overall, like I said, the biggest thing that I'm noticing in this particular show are little teeny tiny presentation details. Physiques all look good, but then your posing, your hair, your suit, those are the things, the tan, the glaze, those are the things that separate you, right? And in a show like this, the top 5, well, except for Karen, really, they all had a little bit of an issue with you know, one or many of those things. So they got lucky, you know what I mean? So they got lucky with those things. So since they all had a little bit of an issue, it probably didn't hurt their scores that much. You know what I mean? They each had one little thing that was a little off. So they all balanced out in the end. But you get in front of people who don't have any of those issues, any of those little issues with the posing and stuff like that, and it's going to affect you in your scoring. So overall, I agree with the way that the judging happened. I agree with how it came out. It makes sense. And it shows that if this is the first show of the year and this is how girls are going to start showing up, pros better bring their A game. Or you're not getting that first call out, period. You're not getting the first call out if you don't bring your A game. So congratulations to Nataya winning this. I don't know if she's planning on competing more or not. But again, I think she was deservedly the winner here. And then it's just a matter of what she decides to do going forward. It's hard to be competing right now because there's just not a whole lot of choices for shows until you get towards April. You know what I mean? There's a few, there's a handful, but they don't start getting really, you know, deep until you start getting into April, May, June, July, into the summer, right? So there's like 1 or 2 that you can jump into, and that's it. And most of them are not in the United States, so you got to figure it out. But with that, that's our wrap up of Japan. So we'll talk about Singapore probably Thursday. Tomorrow, I want to talk about some changes to the Arnold lineups, people that are in, people that are out, how that may affect the scoring, that kind of thing for each of the female divisions. And like I said earlier, make sure that you subscribe to Spotify up there. Let me get rid of the share window to our channel right here. Because if you weren't here at the beginning, okay, the reason why you want to get on here is because I will be covering the Arnold for media, right? But I can't take photos and videos like professional ones. I might be able to take a few on my phone. I don't know exactly what they're gonna say, what I can and can't do. So what I'm going to do during the actual show, during prejudging, during finals, is I'm going to have my recorder and I'm going to commentate on the women themselves. Okay. And then I'm going to take that and upload it into our Spotify so that you can go get the live stream for the Arnold and watch it with my commentary and my thoughts and my critiques. Okay. So then that way you have the commentary that's going on live during the actual live stream. Go get the pay-per-view, right? And then after, you can listen to mine along with that stream as well, and see if, maybe I give you a few more tidbits that I didn't give you before, that kind of thing. So maybe you'll learn a few things. So it's kind of like me doing this right now that I just did, the wrap up and all that kind of stuff, but in real time at the show. Okay, so that's how we're going to kind of launch this Spotify channel. So I will be uploading like this. I'll be uploading some of these BSPNs that we do, not all of them, but a good handful of them, so that you guys can go back and listen to them. It has a video feature as well, but you can also listen to it like a podcast. So that's one more avenue of how you can actually keep up with what we're doing, and how I can highlight the female divisions in our sport, which we desperately need. So I'm really excited about being able to do this. I'm really excited about being able to cover the Arnold there in person. So I'm super excited about all of this. So Holly, you don't have to send me pictures. I've got a media pass. My point is I can't, as media, they have people that are actually taking, the professional photos and stuff. So I can't be sitting there and recording it, right? Makes sense? So most likely I can take photos and things like that, but that's silly. Like, I'm not going to sit there and take photos when you can get those photos on NBC News. You can get them wherever they're going to be covered. I would rather give you content that you can't get from the Arnold themselves, right? Which I figure commentary on the actual show itself would be what you can't get elsewhere. My 2 cents, my things that I have to say, right? And with that, also, I will be commentating the Warrior Classic here in Virginia in April. I know some of you are actually competing in that. I will be commentating on the live stream for that. And I will also be commentating for the DC Pro-Am on the live stream. Yay! So I will be on the official live streams for both of those shows. So you'll have to get the live streams for those. I tell people that are competing at those shows, whenever they do the Shop Gym events, when they do their live streams, get the live streams, because then you can hear the commentary and what we have to say. Even if you're in it, even if you're in the show, get the live stream, because then you can actually hear the commentary that we do along with the show. And you can hear what the feedback is and all of those kinds of things, right? So, and also, like I said at the beginning of this, so just as a recap, since Yolanda's here now, you did win a fully encrusted suit from the Athlete Search for sharing the Athlete Search and the sale and all that stuff the most. I was saying there's a handful of girls that did share quite a bit, but you shared almost every single day. Plus your new podcast that you're putting out there and all that stuff too. So I paid attention to all that stuff. So you got yourself a second suit for the season. So you're just going to have a plethora. You're going to have a plethora of suits. So go back and watch, because we had some good little tidbits and nuggets and things like that you'll want to listen to take into account for when you do compete this year. But congratulations, and also thank you for sharing as much as you did. I really do appreciate that a lot. So so with that, you guys, we will be on tomorrow night, and we will be on Thursday night, like I said. So tomorrow we will talk about the switch outs in the Arnold. But yes, we said otherwise with the DC Pro-Am. Yes. Yes. So it's raining suits, right? So we'll do the Arnold stuff tomorrow, and then we'll preview the Singapore Pro on Thursday. So those will be our lives for tonight, or this week. And then we're into Arnold week, and then we're actually into Arnold week. And then, as you know, the year just starts flying from there. So hope you guys had a great weekend. I'm going to let y'all go for tonight, and then I will see you back here again tomorrow. Oh, and I did put an upload onto YouTube today. That was the social media star footage from when Jamaica won that at Cuties Conference Stage. So if you guys haven't seen that little, 2-3 minute clip or whatever it is, go check it out, because I put that up today, so you can check it out. And with that, I hope you guys had a great night. Go up on Spotify right there And we will be back tomorrow, 8:15, same time, same place. And if you want to come work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. All right. Have a good night. We'll log off of Instagram first.